Okay, next we had Moxley and Kingston. Oh man, I'm amped to talk about this. Moxley and Kingston against the Acclaimed. Oh no, sorry. This is just, oh yeah. They did the promos and then
They did two
match.
promos,
Sorry.
both of them, and then they have the match.
Yeah, they did. They both did promos, had the match. Lots of action here. I thought a lot of more of a traditional tag team match flow, but they had really good chemistry. Moxley taking a lot of punches, acting like a wild man. Ultimately, Moxley and Kingston hit a tandem paradigm shift, which I don't know if I've seen that before on Dynamite at least. And they beat the Acclaimed. But I think we have to talk about first is Max Caster coming out there with the rap,
So good, man.
saying your wife's all in my mentions, trying to get me on those oral sessions, which is Renee, John Moxley's wife's podcast name. So that was just too good for me. Oh, and before that, I loved how Kingston and Moxley are really crushing these promos. At first, I wasn't totally sure. I think that they found a vibe with it, and maybe I've just gotten used to them more. But he goes, "The Acclaimed, what are they? Rappers."
Yeah, the rapper. Yeah,
rapper and a rapper's friend.
Yeah.
I was dying. I have a note here later, but sometimes Dynamite is genuinely funny and not like cringy WWE funny, like
forced funny, as in like I feel like sometimes when you watch WWE, I should like have like laugh now sign, like, and they're gonna light it up or whatever. I feel like that's what they want for whatever. But yeah, AEW does that very well, where it's just like, yeah, he's a rapper and rapper's friend or whatever. Like that is just genuinely funny.
Yeah. As far as the match, well, first of all, I loved how Mox rushed them as soon as they got done with the rap, because absolutely deserved it. Oh man, if we could just stay on the rap for another second. When they said we're the real paradigm shift, these two guys give each other Valentine's gifts. Oh my gosh. Yo, the Acclaimed was another one. That was another one you said you got to be on. I'll agree with you, man.
I told you, man. As soon as I heard the first rap, I'm like, oh, dude, if this guy keeps like spitting out like just like golden lines and not like be cringy and not forcing it, he could be like, this could be very good. And then luckily I was right. Like every time he's out there, I even watched like the Acclaimed like on Dark and all those episodes, whatever. He does it all the time. Like it's like, granted, it's like maybe not as specific, but they're all different. Like I was like, oh, okay, give credit to that guy. That guy could just like write for days. Then at this point, if he's making different jokes on Dark and not even saving them for Dynamite, then like
especially for Dark, like
like how many people are watching it?
Right. Yeah, that's great. Big fan. The wrestling was good. Like I said, I thought they had good chemistry. I thought they went back and forth well. I think Moxley's really coming into like a different level of his character. Like the way he's wrestling, the way I mentioned it, but like taking those shots, sometimes like not letting them really affect him, but it looks like he's just absorbing it. Like he looks tough and he looks crazy.
Yeah.
Big fan.
So good. Like you could tell that like in WWE he was so burnt out and just like was so fed up with a lot of things, and you could just like you kind of gave that energy. But now this time you could just tell he's having a fun and a good time. Especially I like this Mox and Kingston tandem. I think AEW does this very well. Like I know they take their tag team wrestling very seriously, but a lot of times you get worried about like, oh, like what do we do with these two guys? Oh, let's put them in a team and then this tag team thing. And it's just like there's a difference between two guys tagging together and being a tandem, and then there's two difference of like, oh, there's two single guys just tag with each other or whatever. It's like sounds like the same, but it's really not. And honestly, when Mox and Kingston were like thrown together, I know they were good friends, so I knew that they would do well, but I was just like, I didn't think they would do this well. They're naming their tag team moves, like they like that Violent Crown and that tandem paradigm shift. Like they're taking it seriously to the point where they have the pay-per-view match with the Young Bucks. So I am genuinely excited for that now, because I feel like all of them are going to do very well in that scenario.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know, we can go back and forth on wins mattering in AEW, and sometimes that means that you just go on like how Britt Baker took advantage of it. You go on Dark, you go on Elevation, you beat a bunch of no-name people, and all of a sudden your record is inflated. But I'll honestly take that over two dudes that are single competitors randomly forming a tag team and all of a
Right.
sudden challenging for the
And then
championship.
so this is what I also like about like the rankings are kind of like loose structure, but like when Mox and Kingston, like the Acclaimed, I think they know what they're doing storyline wise. I think the Acclaimed, they were the number one ranked tag team.
I think
Or
they were 3.
they were
Well,
three or
wait.
something
So
like that.
Varsity Blondes was the number 1
Oh, that's
contender.
right.
So that's why they got the
Yes.
match.
Yes.
The Acclaimed was right after them, and then Mox and Kingston were right after them.
So like it kind of makes sense now. Like they beat the Acclaimed. Varsity Blondes, like spoiler, they did not win, but it's all right. I don't think anyone's like doing any of that. But now like it kind of makes sense, like storyline wise, like okay, logically this could make sense of why they would get there and stuff. And like like even like all the still like storyline stuff. This was I liked the match. It was a fun match. Like I think they pulled off very well. That Kingston's usually the one grabbing the heat of like they were working on his leg a lot. I'm a big proponent of like old school stuff like that. Work on a body part, keep going through, and then have Mox come in when he clocked him right, like when they finished their rap. I thought that was hilarious. Even the announcers were cracking up. Like,
yeah.
This match is good. I enjoyed this a lot.
Absolutely. I'm with you.